Well, the results are in, ladies and gentlemen. Mitt Romney has been elected by the popular vote and by the Electoral College, the 45th president of the United States. But we hear that sound of the needle coming off the record, don't we? Because he hasn't been elected president of the great United States yet. And it would be wrong if people were saying that he was a shoo-in and couldn't be defeated. It would even be more wrong if big betting services in Ireland, England, and other areas were already paying out this weekend bets to people that had made bets saying that Barack Obama was going to win. Now, I ignored that when I saw that news yesterday, but then I began to see all these other headlines, how there was an 80+% chance Obama was going to win in the New York Times with a Democratic Party connected polling agency. When all of the wide spectrum polls, we're talking about Harris, Gallup, the list goes on, show in national polls that Mitt Romney is 3 to 5 points ahead of Obama. In every single poll out there, he is beating him. In every major battleground state, Mitt Romney is tied or ahead. We're talking about Minnesota. We're talking about Ohio. We're talking about Colorado. The list goes on and on. These are traditional states that go Democratic. Now, understand something. I'm not a big fan of Mitt Romney, and I've not been out there promoting him. But whenever I see Obama using hurricane press conferences to electioneer, whenever I see the media trying to use the aftermath of Sandy that FEMA's done a terrible job on, trying to say that he's a hero, whenever I see dirty tricks like this where the betting houses, not just overseas but even in Vegas, are saying 2 to 1, 3 to 1 for Obama, when all of the historic facts and polls show the opposite, it looks like they're getting the public ready to steal the election. It's the oldest trick in the book. When they know they're going to steal an election, they try to create a bandwagon effect where people hear that there's no way Obama can lose, so they don't go to the polls. And so when they cheat in key swing states, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and people say, well, that's it. You know, Obama had such a lead, when he does not have a lead in any national poll for the popular vote, and when he does not have a lead in most of the Electoral College swing states, because it will be the Electoral College that decides this. We've got major university polls out, like the University of Colorado, that for the last, 4 or 5 elections has been 100% on target. They're saying 70+% chance that not only will Mitt Romney win the national overall vote, but there's a good chance he's going to win the Electoral College. So let's be clear about this. I am seeing TV reports on the news, hearing it on the radio, reading it in the newspaper that, oh, the bookies in Vegas, the bookies in Ireland, the bookies over in England, they're all saying Obama's going to win. There's no way he can lose. In fact, here's one of the headlines here out of Business Insider. Irish betting site calls race early, pays out Obama victory, bets 2 days early. Here's another one out of the Business Insider. Nat Silver, that's that New York Times polling company. Obama's odds of winning have now hit 85%. Here's another one. Jim Cramer, Obama is going to obliterate Romney in a historic landslide. And then you look at the polls, you look at the Electoral College, everything is pointing towards a Romney landslide. But remember, in the age of electronic voting fraud, of black box voting, which is designed to be able to manipulate votes and cover the fact up, it doesn't matter who casts the ballots, it matters who counts them, as Joseph Stalin, dictator of Russia, once said. In the 2008 election, we saw $3 billion spent by the campaigns, but also by soft money. The New York Times is now estimating $6 billion is being spent this time. Now, do you think that Vegas and the other big gambling systems, do you think they might be in there trying to manipulate things? Since when do we, here in the United States, let the famously seedy betting houses and gambling houses of the world tell us who's going to win? In closing, here is why I'm so concerned about Obama. Yes, Mitt Romney's a globalist, but he will be facing re-election if he gets elected. And he will have a lot of people in the Republican Party who are pro-Second Amendment and anti-abortion, and pro-national sovereignty in there to try to keep him on the straight and narrow. If Obama gets back in, the same crew that ran Fast and Furious to blame the Second Amendment, if they get back in, he's not facing re-election. He has executive orders that he's shown he'll use to circumvent Congress and the will of the people and the Constitution. And he will also have the power of the pardon, not facing re-election. All I want is to have a fair, real election in this country. And I see the mainstream, prostitute, corporate media getting everybody ready for an Obama landslide when all of the polls and the facts show the opposite. Mitt Romney has not been elected the 45th president, and Obama has not been elected as the 44th president to a second term yet. And so it's wrong for the media to be selling that hoax and that idea. Please get this video out to everyone you know. We'll be covering this right through the election and after the election if there's any civil unrest or other crises that arise at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and on my syndicated radio transmission, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. Find stations and affiliates and free audio streams as well as the podcast again at Infowars.com.